Okay, we're live on Hangouts and Gun Channels, just waiting for the lag in YouTube to catch up. And I think it's almost there. There we go. It's happened. Okay. Welcome, live from the crossroads of America, to Rick's Life as I See It, Shooting with Disabilities show, a 1-hour talk show about guns, politics, shooting with disabilities, of course. Also answer questions from the audience. Just type it in the chat boxes on Gun Channels or YouTube. Or you can email me at rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. Also, normally if you missed the show, it's available on Podbean, iTunes, and Stitcher, normally within 24 hours of the show ending. I have a Patreon page also. And what else? I got T-shirts, coffee mugs, and all that kind of stuff at spreadshirt.com. Just type in Rick's Life, I believe, and my stuff will come up. And I think that's it. I got us some panel here, so we're going to say the highs before we get carried away here. We'll start with Tony. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing fine, actually.
Good to see you. Good to have you here. Squib?
Thank you.
Hey, I'm here at work. It's loud.
Okay. Then we have the John Z Project. How you doing, John?
Hi-ho, and Happy New Year to everybody. Thanks for the invite.
All right. Then we got David, the Kingpin Bowling.
Hey, Rick. How you doing tonight? Thanks for the invite. I appreciate it.
All right. Hey, and you were the winner of the drawing on Clover Tech on New Year's Eve.
Yes, indeed. First place right here.
Yeah, oh yeah. Then the one and only blind shooter. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Rick. How about yourself?
All right. Not too bad. Not too bad. Okay. So far in the on Gun Tubes, we have Midnight Range, Zorro. Who else? Vanessa Kitty, Patrick, Seven Wonders, Rob D, New York Outcast. So far over there, we got Dr. No over on Gun Channels. Of course, we got Tony and David Bolin over there, who are also on the panels. So we're going to get started with our gun loving grandpa just showed up. So leading off to something that we talked about last week, I was going on. I'm not sure if we talked about it on the show or it was another different show. Was like with the cold weather here, with the arthritis in my hands, what kind of gloves would people wear? I've been doing some research, and there's they have what you call it. I mean, I can't think of the brand name now, but there's a compression type glove you can wear. That I'm thinking of getting a pair of those, put those on under my normal shooting gloves to see if that will help, with the arthritis in the wintertime. So, hey, Vanessa Kitty, that's where I used to work, in the commissary there on the sub base. In the old commissary, not the new one they have now. Sorry, just sidetrack. I just saw that in the chat. She just come back from. I used to live in Groton once upon a time too. So, anyway, sorry about that. Got sidetracked. But anyway, so So, anybody heard of that? I guess it's like those compression knee things you can use, or all that kind of stuff.
I got something that come from the military. They're kind of a compression glove that my daughter brought home and didn't like, and they're pretty cold, but I wear them underneath a pair of hunting mittens. The mittens where you can pull the fingers off.
Yeah, and does that help with the pain any?
God, it depends on how cold it is. I mean, if it's very cold, I have to use them little heat packs and everything else, and it's still a problem, but it's not as much of a problem as with nothing.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. As I said, I think I can't remember if it was last week on the show or not, but I normally use just regular shooting gloves just to help, take away the cold a little bit, so I can stay out there that little bit longer. But if the compression will help with the pain and that's another layer.
Some of the warmest I've ever used is just 2 pairs of brown jerseys together. I mean, that are small enough that you can still use them with a gun. I mean, I've got, insulated gloves, but they're too big for safely using a gun with.
Yeah.
But they're not very good. When I shoot the hot stuff in the 44s, I really need bare hands on them. So I can hang on to them.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
So we don't do that crap in the winter.
All right. Just real quick, just want to say hi to Grimm's joined us and Grand Man and Ohio 45 ACP over on Gun Channels there.
To Squibby in Ohio, thank you very much.
Yeah. What'd they do?
I got a care package from them today.
Oh, okay. All right, Squib.
Very nice gesture on their part, and I thank them both very much.
Was it brass?
It's brass and a box of ammo.
Oh, man, that's cool. Yeah.
You're very welcome. It was a concerted effort. Your neighbors over in Michigan and Ohio care.
I certainly appreciate it.
Yeah. Is that legal to send ammunition to Illinois?
I send it UPS, not USPS.
Okay. All right.
Which, by the way, was cheaper, which doesn't make a lick of sense to me. You would think UPS would cost more.
I can get ammo sent here, yes.
Yeah, you can get ammo sent. You can't send ammo through the post office. You can send components, except for powder and primers, through the post office. But if you want to send a complete cartridge, a live cartridge, primers, or powder, you have to use UPS or FedEx.
Okay. Well, what about just plain, just brass on its own can go through the post office?
It can go through the post office, yes. Brass and bullets can.
Okay.
Now, you could probably send a box of ammo through the post office and they wouldn't catch it. But as far as violating any laws, they have rules about that. They also don't ship firearms. But wait, yes, they do. Because if you get a gun through the CMP, they send it USPS. How is it? I don't know.
It makes you wonder, don't it? Anyway, back to our original question. Gloves for shooting. Squib. For us people with arthritis, I'm not sure if you developed any of that yet in your hands, but
yes, I have. I have developed it in my hands, forearms, shoulders. Got it all over. It's just when and where it flares up is kind of hit or miss Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock. I used a pair of Under Armour scent blocker gloves with some basic liners that I picked up at Dunham's Sporting Goods this past weekend going deer hunting. And after about 2.5 hours in the low 30s, my hands were frozen. But I needed something that would do its best to keep my hands warm, but not keep me from being able to pull the trigger. They did create a bit of an issue on a quick, I guess you call reload. When I racked the action, just having these bulky gloves was a little bit of an issue. But overall, though, I was still able to climb up the deer stand and still able to stay out there 3 different times, 2.5 hours each time. And I got a deer, so the gloves worked. But I would like to try out, like what you guys are talking about, some sort of compression gloves as liners and see how that goes. I tried using my motorcycle gloves, and those don't really work very well for hunting. I got to tell you, even with liners, they're only good for about 35 minutes riding a motorcycle in 30-something or 40-something degree weather. So that was really all I had to go off of. In the military, we had these leather cowhide repelling gloves that we used, and we had these wool liners. But nobody ever used the liners because it made it so you couldn't move your hand. And that was also a long time ago. You can still get the glove shells, they call them, but those really aren't the best for shooting. I have used them in cold weather overseas, shooting a machine gun. So they will work, but I really didn't. Gore-Tex was still new at the time, and we just didn't have budget for the latest, greatest space age stuff. So I really don't have too much experience with it, but I will be looking for some compression type gloves. Tony, I'll see if I can find a military surplus that has maybe those military issue ones you were talking about.
I don't know what the world they are, but they're like a kind of a nylon cloth type of thing. And they're not all that great, but they're better than nothing. And they do fit well enough that you could probably pick up a coin with them on. I mean, you have real good dexterity and control with them.
I have a pair of neoprene gloves that work really well, and they're very agile.
Yeah. Oh, real quick, Vanessa Kitty says she wears mittens on her hands and, with glove inserts. Works for her. And also she has a pair that has where the end of the mitten opens up for her fingers are loose.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
See, I considered that. But I've never tried any of them. Do they attach with just Velcro, or?
They kind of have mine kind of have a, feels like almost kind of a spring latch type thing or something. And then they have magnets that hold them open. It's got some sort of plastic or something in it that makes it kind of stay shut when you got them over your fingers. I think. Hell, I don't know. I haven't worn them a long time.
All right. And Rich White says he has a pair of hang on, I lost my chat there. Mannix winter tactical gloves, and his hands sweating those. And Gun Loving Grandpa says he wears a pair of latex gloves and a pair of jersey gloves. So, hey, unknown user, good to see you. Grandman says Normex pilot gloves. Is that how you pronounce it?
Nomex. It's a fire resistant. It's a fire resistant cloth. It kind of has the consistency of cotton. They'll be in a sage green. There's also a civilian version that's in black and gray. Those are. You know what? That might work as a good liner. I remember those when I was in, because I used to fly on the aircraft, and I don't know. They were kind of slippery, but they worked okay for shooting a machine gun at the side of a helicopter, so I suppose they'd be all right for hunting or being out at the range.
All right. So, John.
Yes, sir.
Let's move along the line here. What about, I know you're in New York, that terrible gun state, but...
Thanks for reminding me.
What kind of gloves would you use for your arthritis if you were shooting? Any idea?
Well, I find that there are brands that sell neoprene gloves, which keep me warm, even in 0 degree everywhere.
Is it me or is he roboting?
Yeah, it's pretty bad on my end.
Okay.
Testicles 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Oh, I got to run.
All right, later.
Business calls. Talk to you guys later.
All right. David.
Yes, sir.
What kind of gloves would you wear if you had arthritis in your hands and shooting and stuff? Or do you wear any gloves now in the wintertime? Shooting?
Yeah, my range is outdoors, and I live in Maryland, so it gets super cold during the winter most of the time around here. A lot of times I'll wear like grease monkey gloves, like you could get from Home Depot or something like that, like mechanics gloves. Yeah. Or I like, I think what Tony said earlier, you wear a pair of latex gloves under a pair of jersey gloves, and that works out pretty good. Most of my videos that when I do a review on a gun, I always talk about wearing big, heavy winter gloves or like small types of gloves to fit inside the trigger well, and get cold pretty quick. So I've always got to have gloves on in the winter. And the Grease Monkey gloves are comfortable, but they don't necessarily keep your hands warm. And the latex works, but you have to take more than one pair if you're going to be out for a while, because when your hands start sweating, you need to be able to take them off and, dry your hands and put on a new pair.
Okay, yeah.
Now, see, the thing here is these mittens. I have small hands, so I had to buy women's. And they got pink logo on the back, which sucks, but they're handy because you can put them little freaking pocket heater thingies in them. And all of your fingers are exposed underneath the mitten part of it, so your fingers can be together and share heat. And it's not perfect, but it's better than anything else I can find.
All right. Sorry, I've got.
I had to hunt these things up, see what I actually had. I haven't looked at them in a while.
All right, I put the link over on Gun Channel if anybody wants to join the panel. And we have a replacement for the John Z project, which is the man, the legend, the myth. I said it the wrong way around. Patriot in the Dark. How you doing?
The tardy one.
Yes, you're late. And he's not even talking to us.
He's giving us the silent treatment.
Yes.
I'm late and I have a bad connection, so I might have to jump back in.
Okay.
Thanks for the invite.
No problem.
These ones from the military that I'm talking about say unisex, small, made in USA, 50% polyester, 40% nylon, 10% spandex. And I don't know that she got them issued or she bought them. But they come back with her from Afghanistan or Kuwait, wherever the hell she was at over there. I thought she said they were issued to her, but I could have that one wrong.
Well, they've also got a uniform shop where you can buy all of your gear to replace anything that you may have lost. Or if you want to, get something to keep for yourself, because a lot of people think some things you get issued and you get to keep. Some things you get issued and you have to turn in when you're discharged. Some people think you get to keep everything. Some people think you get to keep your rifle. It's real funny. Some people think you have a military ID for life.
She's got to keep her uniform full sets so far twice that I know of, and she's on her third set now because they've changed camo twice.
Yeah, the uniform's something different. You buy some of that, or you have it issued depending on what it is, and boots and coveralls and things like that. But then there's other things that you get issued and you have to turn back in, like your gas mask or something like that. Canteens.
And you have to pay for it if you lose it too, and you have to turn it in.
So you can get all that stuff at the uniform shop. So if you're about to get discharged and you're like, I really like my 782 gear, I want to have a set of it, you can get it brand new at government prices at the uniform shop. Or if you know a retiree, have them go on base and go get it for you there cheaper than what you would pay at the surplus store.
They got the best portable gun cleaning kit I've ever had my hands on.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty full kit for working and cleaning about any of them. It's not just the little AR kit. It's like an armorer's kit or something. Online to buy something as close to it as I could find was about $400.
She's active right now, Tony?
Yes. Or she's in the Army Reserve, and she's not active yet. She's going active here, I think, the end of next month.
I remember the Marine reservists got their uniforms for free, whereas we got a uniform allowance, so we had to turn right around and pay for them. So we didn't get our camis for free, but the reservists did. The Army probably got something similar to that. National Guard and Reserves probably get their camis and whatnot for free.
And also, you can actually get on the exchange online, and she can order stuff, well, not even on a base, and have it shipped to you. So at the same prices and such.
Mind you, Squib, if you're a retiree, you get an ID for life.
Yeah, but you've got to be in 20 years or more to be a retiree. Some people think you serve 2 years, 4 years, 8 years, and you've got a military ID for life.
Oh, no.
You have access to the base. And people, no, but there are lots of people that believe that. These are the same people that believe that when you get out, they hand you your rifle and go, here, keep it for life. It's like, where do these come from? You know, you go to the auto parts store and they're like, well, we give a military discount. Don't you still have your military ID? From 1995? No.
Yeah.
They don't let you keep that?
I tried to get the reserve units old M16s because they were slowly upgrading to whatever the hell it is they're using now. And she wouldn't even try to get them out of there for me. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to, you won't be able to get your hands on those.
Yeah. So, Patriot, we were talking about gloves to use for arthritic hands while shooting. Any input?
Gloves. Well, I guess there's different types. Are you talking cold weather type gloves?
Yeah, basically for like now winter's here and you're shooting, and this is one of my. I have arthritis flare up any time during the year, but my hands ache constantly during the winter months than they do during the summer.
I did hear Tony mention the mittens. I've used those for like rifle or bow hunting, where you can have your hands inside and it's got a little slot or something. I don't know if that's what he was talking about, but I for a pistol that I couldn't see that really working. But I don't know. I mean, the mechanics gloves or something that's tight and gives you a little pressure, as well as using the leather gloves with liners, where you can get the stretchy. I like, as of now, I like those throwaway gloves, the little cheap ones that stretch, one size fits all, because you can, you got dexterity with them, and they're warm, as long as you don't get the fuzzy girly ones with glitter on them or whatever, unless you like that. But then if they get messed up, you just throw them away. There's like a buck or two, and then those would actually slide into a liner, a leather, more of a dress glove, or I guess.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Okay. Vanessa says, what size gloves do you wear, Rick? I will hunt down some stuff. I think that's what she said.
To be clear on these mittens, what they are is they're regular gloves with the fingertips cut off at about the first knuckle on your finger.
Oh.
And they have a mitten cap sewed over the back side of them that you can fold down.
Oh, okay. I got you. I understand now.
And then there's a separate one for the thumb.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
I was thinking that they were the ones with the slot in there where you would just keep them in until you were ready.
No. I was saying, Vanessa, I don't know what size my hands are. Do they have sizes for gloves? Normally when I go try a glove on, it's either, it depends how they're cut. It's either large, mainly large.
I was going to say, I would imagine you're large.
Yeah, I get the large gloves. Occasionally, I've had to get. How wide is your hand across the palm? God knows. How the hell do I know?
Got a tape measure?
I'm trying. Not in here, I don't. Do I? No, I don't.
Well, you take a dollar bill and line it up on one side.
I don't even.
Who's got dollar bills?
I don't even have a
No.
dollar bill. I'm so
You-
broke. I'm so broke I can't even pay attention.
You hold your hand up right close to the tip of your nose, and that tells you how big your hand is.
I don't know. I don't know what the measurement is. You know, I haven't got a measurement here, so can't tell.
Do you have any rifle rounds?
No, no.
Hold your hand up to the camera. Let Patriot take a look.
There you go, Patriot. Have a look at that. See that?
Oh, that's the back side.
You know,
well, that's 2.5 inches across here.
You know, I don't know. It's a large. That's all I know. It's a large. So. Okay.
If they don't work, then you'll have a giveaway.
Yes, that's right. That's right. So, anybody else got any other thing they want to talk about on the shooting with disabilities? I was a bit lacking today, to be honest with you. I don't know. I had a relative pass away this morning, so my mind's been elsewhere. You know. So I mean, I moved here to Indiana to be near my relatives, which I got loads of cousins, but I got, I had three. I had 2 aunts and an uncle left. Now, one of my aunts passed away this morning, so I'm down to just an aunt and an uncle. I mean, they're in their 80s, so I know it was going to happen, but I expected not as soon as I got here type thing. You know what I mean? I shouldn't laugh.
Lost most of mine, man. So
yeah.
It's just getting time, I suppose. I mean, hell, on my mom's side, I've lost all my aunts and uncles but one, the one that's younger than I am, 10 years ago.
Yeah. Actually, Rob D said should have a ruler in the office. I thought I had one in here, but I don't know if I can find it. I know I had one in here before I moved. Thinking about it, I haven't seen it since, Oh, I know where it might be, but I can't get to it right now. It's in one of these plastic drawers of these things. Some of them I still haven't untaped yet, and I think it's in one of those. So I can't help you tonight, but I will find it. So there we go.
I can put my hands on 3 of them. One of them sitting right here, actually. But I know where 2 more are. And my place looks fucking cluttered compared to yours.
Well, that's why I was saying if you had some ammo laying around, Tony knows all the sizes. It'd be pretty easy to figure out.
He's got 45 ACP. I don't know what that shit is.
Can't help you. So
I could look, though,
I don't know. You just have to.
What kind of person doesn't keep a fucking ruler laying around anyway?
I got a ruler, but I just can't find it.
I even have a ruler.
I haven't unpacked everything yet. I know I've been here a couple of months, but my little room here is my junk room, and I haven't.
You mean Tony's room?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony's room.
Isn't that Tony's?
Tony's room is my junk room now.
Let's start a GoFundMe to get Rick a ruler.
I've got a ruler. I just got to find it. Now, you guys got me going here. I'm going to have to pull it out tonight after the show's over. Just to prove to you guys that I have one. Mind you, my ruler I do have is a special ruler. It's specially, I use it for, I bought it special. It's actually a piece of metal ruler that I got for doing my model railroading.
I can put my hands on 2 of them little 1 foot long rulers plus 3 foot aluminum yardstick and a large what the hell they call that L-shaped son of a bitch? Square.
Well, aren't you my hero? Because you can do that. You know?
I forgot about that stuff, but I don't know that I could get to it, but I know right where it's at.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Vanessa. I appreciate that. I'll talk to you when I get your message.
On screen, his hand's about 2 inches wide. I don't think that's accurate.
Oh, Dead Horse has a question where you guys might be able to help. If someone's hand shakes really bad, what is a good way to still get them to go shooting?
Can they control the shaking with isometric pressure?
Now,
You know,
some of those carpal tunnel style braces that kind of hold your forearm and your wrist. I don't know if one of those. I mean, I guess it depends on how the handshake. You know, my stepfather has. Yeah, that could work.
I mean, it depends if the person has like cerebral palsy or anything too.
Yeah, my stepfather has MS, and after about 20 minutes, half hour shooting, he he just wants to give up, relax a bit.
yeah, go on, carry on.
If it's they want to shoot a long gun, you can use a cheap rest that actually holds the whole gun. I think I bought mine, which is a plastic lead sled clone, for $40.
What about those foam ones that Clover had brought up? I know he had given some out last year sometime. You might want to check his site. Might be in one of his little links or something.
Yeah, for sandbags are even handy. And if you have a bag of shot that's not full.
Okay, you sons of a bitches. Here it is.
Jesus Christ.
So how big's your goddamn hand then? That's the point.
Well, I'm getting there. I'm trying to find the inches on this damn thing. It's got everything else on it.
Yeah, don't be measuring in centimeters.
I said this is a ruler I use for, my, see, it even says model railroad reference thing on it. So, let me have
What's his hand in HO scale?
Yeah, really. Be sure you don't get in.
Looking at this goddamn thing. That's not an inch, is it? Yeah, it must be. Yeah,
He's measuring it in Lionel's.
Yeah.
It says 8. 8 inches? That seems a bit, hell, I don't know. Now we're talking. I got to work this one out.
I missed that. So what was his hand in HO?
124 half inch equal 1 foot. Yeah, hell, I don't know. See, I reckon. I don't know. I'm trying to think now. Now you got me.
At the thumb joint, my hand's 3.5 inches. So if that gives you any reference
Okay.
to.
Is that millimeters?
Mine would be about 8 millimeters.
Is that millimeters? 24. That's a millimeter. Mine is. Hell, I don't know. I told you. It's a strange ruler. I got to figure. I don't remember how to read it, to be honest with you. It's been so long. I haven't done my model railroad for about 3-4 years now. I didn't use it that often. So.
Although a question for the
next
trivia.
I got one.
Well, 24 is about 9 inches wide, so that's probably not.
Yeah. I think that's more of a scale.
Yeah, I do too.
That's to measure your little
Yeah, it was to measure,
Accessories and
track and stuff like that. This is what this is for.
to make things scale.
Although, Rick, if you're stuck for a question for the next trivia, you can always ask the question, how many grown men does it take to measure your hand?
That's right. That's right. That's a good question. I might do that. So,
Although
anyway,
we ain't getting it done, so we don't know the answer.
Yeah,
that's right.
no
We know.
kidding. I'll send you a Braille ruler. I've got some of them.
This is a scale. This is a scale, not a ruler, as Ohio 45 says. I thought, even though I know it had stuff on it for the route, but I honestly thought it had an actual ruler in there as well. You know what I'm saying? But by the looks of it, hell if I can see one.
Do you still do model railroad stuff?
No, I haven't done it for ages. I've still got everything. That's what's all in these plastic containers I have in the room here. Is all my model. I still got all my, the engines and everything else, and I got loads of track and parts and all kinds of stuff. And
I had shitloads of that stuff before we moved out of the other house, and somebody come in and helped themselves to it.
Without your permission, or with your permission?
Well, they had permission of the people who bought the house.
Ah. Okay. Yeah, I had when I first started it. I mean, I've been doing model railroad for hell since I was in my teens. I've been dabbling in it for years, and I got a bunch of British trains, which is 00, which is slightly smaller than HO, but not by much. Runs on the same track. And I have that, and so I've been dabbling with it. Everywhere I move, it's gone with me over the years. But I really got into it when I first moved to Connecticut. I had a spare room like I did here, and I actually built myself a layout. And once I moved out of there, I took the layout down and dabbled with it. And when I moved over to Rhode Island, I had this shelf. It was maybe 4 foot high off the ground, and it went all the way around 3/4 of the way around the living room. So I started a track from one. It was ride to one end and reverse all the way back to the other, a point to point they call it. I started to build that. I had the track down, and I was starting to do the all the grass and everything else to make it look like a real model. But then I got the cats, and one day I was running the trains, and the cats saw it, and that was the end of my model railroad. Because they pounced on the moving train, and I said, nah. If it was a toy, it wouldn't have been so bad. But these, some of these trains, a couple of these model engines I have cost over $400, because the detail on them is so fine. So I said, nope. So I packed it all away, and I haven't touched it since. So,
what's your favorite piece of model railroad gear?
What's my favorite?
Yeah.
My favorite piece? Oh, it's actually it's an American. It's American diesel from CSX train. It's a oh hell, I can't remember which one it was. I got the model number and everything. I can't remember what it was, but that one, that's the one that cost me about $400. That one, it's quite nice. My next one is a British train I have of the model of the Evening Star. It was the last steam train ever built in England, and which I loved because I remember this as a kid going on steam trains as a kid. Because the last steam train ran in England in 1969. So, and the Evening Star was built in 68. When they commissioned it to build it, they knew that it would it only be serviced for about a year before they got done away with steam engines.
And mine was a propelled version of a snowblower. and I can't think of what they call it. They got a name for it. But I found one that actually had the engine in it, so it would go by itself and you didn't have to push it. And I looked for like 2 years to find that damn thing, and I don't remember what I paid for it, but it was too much.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to say one thing last about the trains, and we'll get back on topic. Was what I loved about what I got into just before I put it all away was DCC, where you could have 3 or 4 trains on the same track running all in different directions, and it was all done, through this DC little thing you had on your train. It was like,
I was into that because that's just where I come back into it as an adult. That was just going big.
Oh yeah, yeah. Anyway, back to where we were going. Back on people shooting with shaky hands. How about using? I think it was Dano said. What about sort of like a brace? Like you would use for a AR-15 pistol or something like that. Would that work? Is there some way you could sort of like make some sort of thing that you could clip it onto, the handle, or somehow you could sit it on strap it to your arm to hold your hand steady while you hold a gun. I don't know.
That's what the braces were for, though, wasn't it?
What?
Kind of hard to specify if you don't know the nature of the shake.
That's true.
Yeah. Now, Dead Horse says with a Glock you can get a endo brace. Is that what that says? And use that. I guess as you said, it depends on what they're actually suffering from, I guess. But you need something to steady. There's got to be a way to do it for somebody whose hand shakes so they can still shoot. It's got to be some way that you've either got to, keep the gun steady or the hand steady. I would imagine. So.
Yeah, I'm sure there's different ways. Just with the braces that for like carpal tunnel that kind of strap the hand so it's straight. I don't know. It all depends on their condition, obviously. If it's something, that you can't do that, then that's obviously not an option.
Oh, yeah. Because I remember before they operated it on my left wrist, they gave me a sort of like a brace that I used to tape on there to hold it in place.
And how much have you been fixed?
I can still use it. If I can hold my wrist steady, I don't know, my hand, it depends how bad which way it's shaking and everything else. But, I used to shoot with it on.
Tony, he ain't talked about the metal plate in his head yet.
No.
Damn, you got more extra parts in you than I do. That's going somewhere. Oh, hell, I found an actual stock kit for my 1860, and my gun is cut out for that. So I think that's my next purchase.
You think you're freaking Lee Van Cleef?
That's the only reason I wanted muzzleloader in the first place.
Okay, then.
A unknown user says if they can find one of those canes that have, hang on, I lost the chat. It moved on me. Hang on, let me go back. If they can find one of those canes that have an arm brace, they can flip the brace up and put their wrist in the brace and use it to steady their hand. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that might work. Oh, Patrick says if you're trying to keep a gun steady, how about using shooting sticks? Good for rifles and pistols too.
Hey, that's a good idea.
I'm actually contemplating buying this set, to be honest with you.
That's not a bad idea at all. Good thinking, Patrick. You know, that is a good idea. So there we go. There's your answer. Get some shooting sticks. You know. All right. I know what I want to. We got 15 minutes left, and I know I said I'm keeping this chat to shooting with disabilities, but I got to bring this up today. As you see, I wear my hat all the time. Today is the 2nd of January. Every second matters. You know. And so my question is, I'm going to go down the line here and ask, what are you doing for the Second Amendment today? Or what do you got? No, I'll make it easier. What's your plans to help the Second Amendment cause in 2019? And we'll start with blind shooter.
Do I have to go first?
No.
I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you, Rick. 2019, well, as stated in another chat, the NRA no longer gets my money. The GOA gets it. The Second Amendment Foundation gets it. And a lot of the smaller state organizations get my money, but not the New York ones, because the New York Second Amendment Foundations are nothing but a piece of shit.
All right. There you go. How about you, David?
Well, I'm going to try for 2019 to do more than just pistol reviews and stuff. I want to try to get more into like what I'm planning on doing with the Firearms Inventors deck and learn more about actual firearms and firearm history and hopefully share that with other people. And there's a couple people that I've been talking to that, the way they sound, they want to go to the range and do some shooting with me. So hopefully that'll pan out and I'll take some new people shooting.
All right. How about you, Patriot?
Oh, boy. That's why I was late. I went through and I recorded a video. It was perfect, and it wouldn't save because I ran out of room. So I was deleting some extras, and then, of course, I deleted one section right in the center of it. So.
Oh, man.
You just have to today. Of course. But, yeah, I've got some different ideas that I want to push. I try to do this positive thing. I've came up with a couple alternative things to do on Every Second Matters, and that's kind of what the video is. So I won't go into much of that, but I do suggest taking some time and registering on everysecondmatters.com. And if you find stuff in your local organizations, say, you sign up for your newsletters, you do all that fancy stuff. When you get information by that, go over there and post it. There's a whole process of doing that. But once you post it over there, then you can share links from that to your Facebook or whatever you share to, just to kind of get people using that, so that when you say, hey, I'm going to go on vacation to Montana, you can look over there and you can kind of get some brief information without having to search out all the local 2A groups or whatever at someplace. But that's kind of an idea that I want to push, as well as I want to pull out some of my visually impaired friends, acquaintances, people that I know, and get them out more than just in the shadows shooting. Kind of get them out into the open. I mean, you guys obviously know I'm a blind guy, and we got blind shooters out here, and just kind of get it to be more normal, as well as kind of push some trainers into actually training something that would be useful for us versus, no, you're a blind guy, I can't train you, which I ran into. So that's it. More training, more positive, more work. All the easy stuff.
All right. Sounds good to me.
And I want to start going live so that I can sit here and make jokes about stuff and read every 30th comment. It takes me a while. Trying to mess around like that, but I might be recording the ceiling or something. But we'll try that also this year.
All right.
David's going to help me.
Okay.
He doesn't know yet.
Squib.
I mean, for the cause, probably what I've been doing in the past, just continue on with it. As far as anything different, I might join additional groups. And then most immediately is my plans are to go to Pittsburgh next Monday. So even though I don't live in Pennsylvania, numbers count. And if me being there is an extra body that gets noticed and that does something, then it's worth it. So, and I understand the people that can't make it because of work. I totally get that. I actually had a vacation day that I retracted in December, and that was how I was able to get paid time off work. As far as being able to afford the diesel to drive down there and all that, I got to thank Dusty for that, because I was hunting on his farm over the weekend, and I got a deer, and we butchered it in his shop. He's got a complete setup there for butchering and processing meat, and he taught me how to butcher a deer, and that saved me $200 for the deer processor. So now I've got enough money to get to Pittsburgh and back. Hopefully my truck don't break down, but that's my most immediate plan to support the Second Amendment.
Okay. Just real quick before the chat disappears on me here, on gun channels, Ohio put a link in the thing for back to that brace to help with shaking. And the link, I think David Bowen put the link on the YouTube side of this brace that might work for those people with the shaky hands. Okay. Tony, back to the Second Amendment.
Well, I'm hoping to bring the early watch back, which is my big platform to bitch about shit. So otherwise, I'm going to bitch on all these other shows as much as I possibly can.
Okay. All right. My plan for this year is to get more, since I moved from Rhode Island to here. I believe I read somewhere today, and somebody mentioned in the chat, the governor of Rhode Island has come up with some beauties on the gun control stuff this year. So I'm glad I left there. But here in Indiana, it's a pretty gun-friendly state. But up in the Capitol, there are some Democrats still in the government that are trying to throw in some anti-gun bills. They ain't going to go anywhere because the Republicans have the majority. But
you ain't aiming to go cap them, are you?
No. But no, I plan to get involved in the local organizations here in the state to make sure we keep them, that they don't go through. Plus, I don't know, but what I would love to work on here in the state, I ain't figured out how to do it yet, is to maybe go through the local organizations. Since if you got a carry permit here in Indiana, you can carry open as long as you got the permit. I mean, if you're doing that, we might as well get rid of that and go, constitutional carry. I'd love to work on that for the state. Because you think about it. As I said earlier today in Gun Web's Every Second Matters chat today, 13 states now to have constitutional carry in some form or another. I think we should try to make more of those. Also, it's not to everybody's cup of tea. I'm going to discuss more of it on Saturday's show. Is more on this Second Matter stuff on what to do, because I got some ideas. I ain't going to go into it tonight, but I got some ideas that ain't going to please too many people, but I think it's something to look at. I know what we need to do is stay. It's to stay on our federal senators to make sure they don't cave in to peer pressure from the other senators across the aisle of any anti-gun stuff that hits the Senate from the House, because it's going to come because the House got the Democrats got the majority. That's the main thing we got to worry about on that. But Where the Second Amendment stuff is this year is at state level. Good example, Florida, Washington State. You know, what was it? What was that bill, 6339 or whatever it was, with all those anti-guns things that got passed on the ballot initiative? Well, Florida is a ballot initiative state also. And they've already started already. I think some billionaires put up $1 million already to start working on getting a ballot initiative on the 2020 ballot in Florida, almost word for word for what the one said in Washington. So any of you states out there that allow ballot initiatives, they are coming for you. So
Have you ever thought, okay, you got a millionaire that's going to fund this sort of thing, or Bloomberg's got billions and he funds all this stuff? Why don't they put their money towards curing cancer or something useful? I mean, seriously.
Oh yeah, you would think so, but I mean, Bloomberg's an ass anyway. I mean, he wants to tell you what soda you can drink, what you can't, and he says anybody that wants to own a gun is stupid. You know.
Well, I'm waiting for him to run for president.
Oh yeah, he wants to run for president too. I mean, remember the money he puts up is. I mean, he earns that much in interest every month or so. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, but I mean, I've got so much dirt on Bloomberg. I'm waiting for him to make it public that he's running for president, because I'm going to light his ass up.
Well, that's good. That's what we need. That's what we need. You know, somebody else mentioned too. A good thing when we see some of these stupid ass politicians make an asinine statement, you know, about gun control, make a meme of it and show them how stupid they are. You know what I'm saying? That with social media the way it is today, I think that will get a lot of traction because everybody shares memes that are stupid or funny, you know. So
yeah, one of the suggestions I have is, you know, anytime anything bad happens, they already have the momentum of pushing things. So instead of us trying to stop that momentum of something bad and then turning it to positive, every time there's something that happens that's good, we need to promote it and push it. Like, you know, somebody stops something or whatever, because instead of letting it just die in the regular media, which that's just old media anyways, you know, we need to, you know, amplify it and keep it up so that, you know,
yes, I mean,
that's just another positive thing. But
you're right. I mean, I think it was brought up in this afternoon's chat, and I think Clover brought it up on one of his shows, is somehow we need to start doing on when good things happen, even when it comes to, you know, a good guy with a gun stops a bad guy with a gun, press releases. I think that
was Haas. Yeah, that was on the New Year's Eve 4-hour chat.
Oh, there you go.
That's a good one. You should go back and watch that. 4 hours.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I think that would be a good idea. I mean,
we also need to be proactive too. You know, we can't just be reactive. We can't wait for them to try to ban the bump stock before we start fighting back. You know, we already know what their goal is and what their targets are. And I don't know the answer. I don't know how to be proactive, but there's, you know, smarter guys out there that do. And instead of waiting for them to come after us, you know, start saying, letting them know, hey, you know, you got this. These are the things that we're not going to accept. If you come after the triggers, if you come after our scopes, if you whatever, you know, it's not gonna ride. We're not gonna wait until you say this is what we're going after next. We're gonna tell you now, these things we won't accept you taking away.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, unknown user. Real quick, unknown user had a productive 2-way conversation with his doctor, and today she told me she got her carry permit and even applied to be part of civilian police academy. That's very, you know, that's productive. You know, that kind of stuff. So yeah. Now, who was that? Was that you, Patriot?
Yeah, I was just saying that when you do see something that's positive like that, make sure, either write something or post something, and talk about it, get it out there. Because, I mean, like that, you don't see that every day. I mean, my doctor today, would have cried if he knew what I was carrying. I didn't say that officially.
Yeah. So, also talking about that, since we're on the, every second matters, is there's that website, Every Second Matters, which which has all 50 states listed. Anybody who's a member of gun channels can go over there and use it. So, like, if we have somebody from every state, on your local stuff, add it in there. People can read it and see what's going on around the country. And I mean, outsiders besides gun channel people read that website. So that's another good resource we can use to be proactive. So.
Yeah, anybody can register there.
Oh, is there anybody can register there? Oh, there you go. So that's another thing we need to promote is the Every Second Matters website. So anyway, we're out of time now, guys. As I said, I decided I'm not going to make this show longer because I want to try to keep it to what it was originally designed for, was shooting with disabilities. I know today we went off track in the last 15 minutes because it's Every Second Matters, and I'm not saying it's not going to happen again. But what I would like from you guys out there, from you guys on the panel or you guys out in the audience or anything like that, if you got anything you want us to talk about or you got any ideas for shooting with disabilities,
I would like to post some homework.
Email and let me know what's give me some ideas. I'll take them. And actually, the thing about the shooting brace, I'm gonna try to look into that and maybe use it next week. With some more, maybe some more better ideas or whatever.
If you check out that video that Ohio posted, it's a really cool video. It's short. It's got a lot of details to it, and to me, it looks like something that would work really well too. So definitely click on that link and check that video out. It'll take 2.5 minutes of your time.
There you go, guys. The link was put in the gun channels and on YouTube. So there you go. All right, let's go. There was something else I was going to mention too. Oh yeah. Before we go through the panel with any shout outs and plugs and everything else. The question for my quiz on Saturdays for the American Stand Your Ground hat, plus a Rick's Life as You See It sticker, plus I was going through my boxes also, and I found a few, stickers and stuff I still had, and I haven't given away. I mean, I've got some stickers here from the Tactical Cucumber, and some other stuff here I can give away. So I had that, and the question was, paraphrasing here because I haven't pulled up where I got it written down, is in the movie Predator 2, that's the one that had Danny Glover in it. At the end of the movie, you see him. I think he's in the cave or spaceship, whatever it is, and I think they come out of their, because they can make themselves disappear or whatever. They show themselves, and there's one of the predators in front of him, and he throws a gun at him, and at the end of the show, it shows it. What I want to know is what make and model was it, and what did it have written on it? Also, I want to know what make and model it was, but also the prop was slightly different. So either one, you can either name the prop or name the gun it was meant to be, but more especially, I want the name. So everybody knows. I'm giving half of it away now. I want what was written on it is the main thing. So and I need that by lunchtime Saturday to be in for the quiz. So there you go. I've only got 1 or 2 entries right now. That's why I mentioned it. So
That sounds like a good one.
yeah. So that was a damn good question. You know. So there we go. Anyway, let's go through the panel here for any shout outs or plugs or anything. Let's start with Blind Shooter.
Always have to make me first, Rick. I know how it is.
Well, that's how you line up on my screen here.
But anyway, I mean, thanks for having me. Always appreciate it. Look forward to this chat every week. And just want to take a quick minute to plug a podcast if anyone listens to those. It's the Gun for Hire radio podcast. The host, Anthony Calandro, he is running for a NRA board member seat. And, I mean, I know we give the NRA a lot of crap now since the whole bump stock thing. But this dude is a true patriot, and he's politically incorrect and plans on holding everyone's feet to the fire. So if you guys can, check out his podcast. And hopefully when the votes come out in February, you guys can vote for him also.
All right. So I was just sorry, I got sidetracked by the chat. You want a hat, and did I email you? You might have. I think you did. Now, if you look behind me, you could be one of these here. Hang on. How long ago did you win it? Let me have a look. Is it this one? Yes. I still have it here. Yes, I got it. What I mentioned this last week is, to be honest with you, I don't know if you guys can hear me. To be honest with you, what I do now is I mail all my stuff out once a month. It's just easier for me to do it that way, the way my paydays fall and stuff. I've got it. It's sitting there. It's all boxed up, ready to go. And I'll be going to the mailbox on Friday. So it'll be in the mail then. So anyway, okay, next in line for shout outs. David Kingpin Bowling.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for the invite. Great conversation all the time. Everybody check out gunstreamer.com. Everybody check out guntube.org. Go to gunchannels.com and make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Rick's Life as I See It. And stay tuned for whether or not Rick's gonna have a show Saturday or not. Normally at 3 p.m. Eastern.
I was going to mention that just before I signed off, but I appreciate it, David. All right, from the myth, the legend, and the man, Patriot in the Dark.
Boy, that's a big dress up, I tell you. Well, thank you, Rick. I do appreciate it. Thanks for putting on this show. I have a suggestion or a request. If anyone out there knows of trainers that deal with people that are, have disabilities or et cetera, whatever, if you would, either you can email me or possibly send an email to Rick, just so that we could cover that on an upcoming show, maybe. Because I know of a couple, but nothing that's anything big. And I think that would be kind of cool. Maybe some training or something that's more geared for disabilities, et cetera.
Actually, I just wrote that down for a topic.
Okay. And as far as that, Happy New Year to everybody. If you keep an eye out, I should have a video out here shortly. It would have been out today, but I don't know since I have to re-record it. So I kind of deleted some things, but that's joy of Apple and not being able to expand the memory. But I do appreciate everybody. Stay positive and never fear the dark.
Okay, great. Squib.
I can get to the mute button. Let's see. Plug. Check out Sarge's show tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern on the C4 Defense channel. And I'd like to thank everybody who's already commented today on the unboxing video that I released right before I left for work today. So thanks for watching my boring videos, and I've got more in the works. I'm now officially back on a regular schedule after the whole excuse me, November, December family holiday hunting diversion from normal life. Not complaining about it, just saying now I've got time, so I'm going to try to put some more really poor quality videos out there. Thanks to everybody to watch who takes the time to watch them.
All right, Tony.
Hell, I got nothing I'm going to plug.
Except that hopefully the early watch is coming back, hopefully next month.
Well, you
Or
just
later
seen
in the
me
year.
get my ass booted out of here because I don't have stable internet, which is what I'm fighting with.
Okay. That sounds good. All right. I appreciate it, guys, for being there on the panel. And I want to say thank you to Black Cat Outdoors, Rob D, New York Outcast, Seven Wonders, Vanessa Kitty, Midnight Range, Unknown User, the Tactical Pickle, and who else did we have? Insight Freedom. Hell, I can't remember. Patrick, Roasted Films. Who else did we have in here? I mean, there was a Grand Man and a Grim. And I more likely missed a bunch, but thank you for them on YouTube. Then on gun channels, we had Tony, of course, who's on the panel. Then we had Dead Horse, Dano, Ohio 45 ACP, PN Woods. Is that how you pronounce it? PNW Woods? And Dr. No on gun channels there. I appreciate you all being here. And I should be here Saturday. I won't know until tomorrow for definite what if the show's going to be at 3 or 5, because one of my aunts passed away today, and so we got stuff going on Friday night, Friday afternoon, and the actual funeral's on Saturday, but I'm not exactly sure if it's 10 o'clock in the morning or 12 o'clock. If it's 10, I should make the 3 o'clock. If it's 12, I might have to push it back to 5. But I will let you guys know. Of course, if I post, I will post it on gun channels what it's going to be. So there we go. I want to say thank you all for being here, and I will hopefully see you on Saturday. All right. Good night, everybody.